Hi guys, Aceface back with another video for Twisted Dice, and today we're going to talk a little bit about tournament preparation. So a little bit different type of tactics for you, but hopefully one that will be very useful for you, particularly as the tournament scene opens up and people that have never been to a tournament or don't go very often are returning to the scene. So hopefully this will be useful. If you do find it useful, please do hit that like button, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and put on notifications so when we do upload a video that you don't miss it. But let's just jump into this video and talk about things tournament. So there's loads and loads of stuff when it comes to preparing for tournaments, but I'm going to break down what I find most useful and hopefully what you guys are going to find useful. And this is very much aimed at new or returning tournament players, but hopefully it'll be useful for everybody. So there's kind of two bits to a tournament. So there's the preparation and then there's the at the event. So we're going to break it down to two. So let's talk about the first part, which is very much around preparing for your tournament experience. And this is the most important bit because this will make or break. If you don't do this well, then your tournament won't go well. So first thing, once you've bought your ticket and you know when your tournament is, start to prepare the army that you're going to take. Now, unless you're a pro player or you're a player with bags and bags of experience, it's worth starting to consider that at that point, even if it's 3 months, 6 months, even a year away. Decide roughly what you want to take. And then start to build, paint, prepare that army and play and get used to it. Because if you're used to that army, it takes one of the big stress levels away, because if you're used to playing it, you know how long it takes, you know the rules, you know how it interacts. And also it gives you the ability to start to paint and prepare that army. So you're not worried about last minute painting or last minute preparing and learning. So you understand the army really well. Once you understand your army, it means you've then got the time to work out what other armies do and what they do as far as interacting with yours, which is super important and very key to you having a great tournament experience. So look, if you work out what you're going to take, then all you need to do is then start to make those tiny tweaks later. So paint the majority of your army, play with the majority of your army, and then if you need to make slight tweaks, slight unit changes, you can do as you get closer to the event. This will really help you out. The next bit is learning a little bit about what you're going to play against. So the chances are you'll probably play 2 or 3 armies from your friends or from the club that you play at. Try and play as many armies as you can in the preparation, but if you can't play them, and that's really normal as well, just make sure that you watch lots of YouTube videos, listen to lots of podcasts, learn what the different armies do, but not every army. Learn what the popular armies do, learn what the quote-unquote meta armies do and how they're being played. Yeah, you won't always be able to counter them, you won't always be able to beat them, but understanding what they do on the table will have you well prepped and will make sure you have a more enjoyable experience when you go find them across the table from you. So make sure you do that. Do a little bit of homework, it will make it better for you. Once you have decided on your list, then make sure you get it written up. So, if you're using old style, typing it up, or pen and paper, take your time to do that, check your points. But most probably you're using Battle Scribe. It's still probably the best way to really make your armies at the moment until the Games Workshop app really moves on to where it needs to be. So get your army into Battle Scribe, make sure it's all right and you've double checked it against your codex, share it with your friends, share it in group pages. Don't try and do secret squirrel, because ultimately, unless you're the top player in the world and you want to kind of hide because you think everybody's going to copy your army, the best thing to do is share it around. People's criticism and people's feedback on it will help you build that army, and will also make sure that it is a legal army, which you don't want an illegal army when it gets close to the event, because it's going to cause you all sorts of trouble. So make sure you do that. Once you've done that, you've got your list, you've got your army painted, and you're able to spend the time to get it to the right tournament standard, and you're starting to play it a little bit, then it's a time to think about preparation actually for the event. And this seems a real simple thing, but there's a lot of things that can really trip you up. First thing is, make sure that you've got a Torment Bag. So you've got a bag that you can put all your stuff in. So I use just a hiker rucksack. It's got loads of pockets in it. I can put in all my codexes, my dice, my tape measures, notepad, pen, and also snacks and water. Water's probably one of the most important things you can bring to a tournament. Keep yourself hydrated. Super important. I get loads of headaches. A lot of that's because I'm not hydrated enough. So make sure you keep yourself hydrated, and you've got snacks for sugar sugar if you need it. Okay. Also really important, you've got a way to carry your army to the event, but also from table to table. So if you haven't got a case to carry your army to the event, then it's probably the time you need to start to think about investing in that. Or look online to find ways of cheap hacks to be able to transport your army, whether it's kind of big plastic containers and magnetizing. There's loads of different ways that people do it, but make sure however you're going to do it, you know a way that you can transport your army to and from the event successfully without breakages. There is nothing worse than rocking up at the event and finding your models are broken and you've got to spend that build up time to your first game repairing models. It's horrendous, it's stressful. Don't go to that place. The next thing is moving your army from table to table. If you don't have one of the ready-made kind of or built purposely trays, then make sure you've got some dinner trays to bring with you, because again, what you don't want to be doing is packing your army down every time in between games. You want to be able to move it across the table nice and easy and quickly, because nothing worse than that horrible sound of an army falling on the floor. It is horrible and it makes your heart just drop, because all that work and money down the drain. Anyway, so that's what you need to do to make sure you prepare for the event and that you're ready for it. The next thing is obviously when you're at the event. Now, one of the first things I would say is make contacts beforehand. So if you're not going out with a group of friends, make sure you know other people at the event that you've made time to get to know through the chats and the build up to the event. Have some banter in the chat, whatever. But at least you know them, people that you can catch up with when you get to the event. Because when you first get there, generally it's probably a venue you've never been to with a lot of players you don't know, and it can be a little bit nerve-wracking. So make sure you know people that you can get in there, start to have a laugh with, start to chat to. It'll break the ice, it'll make things a lot more relaxed. So take the time to do that beforehand, so when you get to the event, you know exactly, people there, and it makes you feel a lot more relaxed. Give yourself time to get to the event. There's nothing worse as well around rushing because you think you're going to be late for the first game or late for registration. Give yourself plenty of time. If you're there early, you can normally find somewhere where you can grab a coffee and just relax, but do not get there late, because it just puts you in the wrong frame of mood for your first game, and then you're in a slippery slide down. The next thing is just relax. Be really, really chilled out, because majority of players at tournaments are just genuinely great people, and everybody loves the hobby, and we all just want to have fun. So don't be stressed and don't be anxious about who you're going to play around what your games are like. If you're new to the game or you're new to the tournament scene, expect to be beaten, but don't worry about it. Don't set yourself high targets for what you want to do on the first tournament, or if you're returning to tournaments, just go there to have fun and enjoy yourself. And if you do well, great, but don't beat yourself up about losing your first couple of games. That's the way that Swift style works. So the chances are by game 3, you're probably playing people of a similar level or the army of a similar level, and your games will start to get closer. But generally, don't beat yourself up. Don't get stressed about it. And vice versa. If you start to do really, really well, and again, you're fairly new to the tournament scene, don't get too excited by it, right? Because it's one of the worst things. Particularly, we're all kind of competitive to a degree if we're going to a tournament. We all want to win. But sometimes when you start to do well, it can bring out the worst in people, because you start to stop worrying about the player across the table and start worrying about how well you want to do. And that will bring out the worst in people. And that's where, unfortunately, you get the tryhards. There's a very small group of people, but it's the people generally that are trying to make the breakthrough from okay players to good players. And as they push through that kind of ability level, that kind of concentration, and it's generally not on purpose, will start to rub people up the wrong way as they really try to go for that win. So don't be that guy. Relax, enjoy your game. Don't be a try-hard. As long as you focus on your game while enjoying the game, things will work, all right? If you try and concentrate too much on just, making sure you win, things will go downhill quickly. You'll have a poor experience, and ultimately the players that play against you will have a poor experience, and you'll start to get a bad name for yourself, which is not what you want. So relax at all times, even when you're doing well. Don't worry about it. Just enjoy the game. Really, really important. So they are my main tips around tournament preparation and a bit around at the tournament. Make sure you stay hydrated. Really, really important. Like keep your health up. These places are generally hot. Just keep healthy. Get yourself sleep in the evenings. Particularly if you want to do half well, don't get hammered. If you do get hammered, expect your Sunday to be pretty miserable. It's part and parcel of of the curse of having a good time on a Saturday night. But just enjoy yourself, have fun, don't take it too seriously, and you'll have a great tournament experience, and you'll be so excited for your next one. It is, in my opinion, the best thing in our hobby. So enjoy it and have fun. But hopefully this video has been useful. If I've missed out some key things that you think are really important about preparation for tournaments, make sure you put it in the comments below. And I look forward to hearing them, and I'll be reading them very, very soon. But until the next video, I'll see you soon, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.